gives us the numbers too. Hey, Leafs Nation. Hopefully you see us. It's Ladies Talking Leafs here, doing our first live stream from Stockholm. I'm Chris.
And I'm Sil.
Yeah, and hope everyone is doing good. Leafs Nation must be happy tonight because we got the 2 wins out of the global series, and yeah, we're going to chat about that and hopefully see if we have any questions or comments on our chat, basically, and in the comment section on YouTube. And yeah, but for our purposes, if you have any questions, actually, go ahead, ask any questions. We're actually going to give a shout out first to a few people on Facebook that we noticed that were up very early this morning back home to watch the game. So we want to give a shout out to. I'm just going to grab it here. I know one of them is Paul Baker. He's in the UK, definitely. So he's a little bit closer here. So, but still, he was watching. And the other person is, I'm getting there. Patient. Okay, Kelly Ward. She's one of our top fans on Facebook. Woohoo! And Dennis S. Gauthier. He gave us a Go Leafs Go as well, bright and early from back home. And Janie Lance, who gave us a Go Leafs Go as well. So just shout out to all three of you for getting up and enjoying some Sunday morning hockey, Leafs hockey, and yeah, and having Tim's for me too. But anyways, we're just gonna run through the couple of games here. The first game versus the Red Wings. What'd you think of it?
Well, it started out slow as we anticipated it might. Took them a while to get their legs, but then when they did, boy, did they ever. Willie was really the star of the show, and it was so fitting that he was. Um, yeah, with his family in attendance, especially his grandmother. Um, it's pretty incredible night that way.
Yeah, and yeah, his whole family was there, and he was player of the game, which was really cool. And that line though was amazing that night. Like on Twitter, we tweeted out today that Tyler Bertuzzi. I don't know what's in the Stockholm water here, but somehow he's managed to turn. He was turning around a little bit at home, but these last couple of games here in Stockholm, he's really shown up and looks like the player that we thought he was going to be for us. So let's hope that continues. And yeah, and just it was interesting to see Justin Hall in the lineup too versus the Red Wings, and he gave us a little gift there on the PK, or being on the PK when the Leafs scored the power play goal on that first game. And Samsonov, he's still looking a little bit. To me, he's looking a little bit shaky in the net, a little bit swimming a little bit around, but he's getting through it. He's getting better, definitely. And yeah, so what do you think of him though?
I think he locked it down pretty much by the end. It was a little scary there for a minute, and surprising that he didn't get taken to the quiet room. We were wondering if there was any concussion spotters actually in attendance at all. But he basically managed to hold it to 2 goals, which, when he's holding it to 2 and under, he's looking pretty good usually.
Yeah, and technically, I mean, Detroit is a team we should beat, anyways. Like in general, it's not to say we're a better team. Have to say that. So yeah, so that was good. And then today's game versus the Wild, I'd say it was a little bit not as good as a entire game. Let's just say the last 2 periods weren't too great for at least. We were up 3-1 and we let it go in the third to tie it. But then of course William Nylander showed up once again in OT with a beautiful winner. But overall, Joseph Wall was really good in goal, and obviously it was nice to see Matthew score, and and Marner got his 400th career assists. So that's really good. And yeah, so um, I just I thought overall it was a good far away road trip for them. Now it's going to be a question what's going to happen when they get back. Like I don't know, it'll be interesting. But yeah, and then post game we were able to go and see the post game comments from Sheldon Keefe and some of the players, and even Sheldon Keefe was saying that he hardly slept or didn't sleep, so because he just couldn't get used to the time change and that, and yeah, it's like by the time you get used to it, you're coming back home again. But yeah, so that was kind of cool to for us to have that access for the first time as
Mhm.
media members. And yeah, what did you think? What stood out for you for the game today?
With the game today, the finish, I think, with the fact that, spin the Willie show the whole time. The fact that he had the overtime winner was really fitting. And yeah, the other thing that did stand out to both of us, I think, is that Ty Domi, Max Domi, and Robertson
Yeah,
didn't play for uh, quite a long time in the third period, and I think probably played under 10 minutes for the game, the two of them
oh, yeah, definitely.
each.
Because
So,
yeah, because we checked during the third period, and they were only at just almost at 8 minutes. But
yeah, it seemed like they were basically double shifting um,
yeah,
Tavares's line.
yeah,
And with, oh no, it was Marner Matthews with Yarncroke up there to get Yarncroke some time. But yeah, that was we that found that kind of odd because we didn't think they were playing that badly. They were on for one of the goals, but yeah, I don't know. We don't know what happened there, and
yeah.
we didn't get a chance to ask that question. So,
Yeah,
um,
but yeah, no, it was we won, so that's the main thing. And now they're going to be heading back home if they're not already on the flight home. But overall, our hockey experience, I guess, here in Sweden it's been pretty good. It's definitely easy to get around here, and yeah, it's a hockey nation. But all the games were well, the two games we went to, even the first game actually, because we did go and watch the first night we got in. We watched a bit of the Detroit and Ottawa game, and all games were sold out. So that's a big positive for the NHL. But Sweden is definitely a hockey nation, and we yeah, we have some video with local fans here that we took that we'll be sharing with show in on our social media in the next little bit, anyways. And it was yeah, it's been a fun time. So
people traveled from all over Europe to watch these games. So, um, I think that it was really great for the NHL that way if they're, truly trying to grow the game. The other thing we did notice too was is that a lot of casual fans did come, to see
mhm.
this product. So that's also good news and tons of kids everywhere. So hopefully that's going to spur the grassroots even more, but there's a lot of kids that are involved with hockey here. So that's good news for the NHL's future for sure.
Yeah, and it was great to see at the practices too.
Mhm.
The practices, the least practice that they had, they like a lot of kids were there from hockey teams and local hockey teams, and the players were more than willing to like just chat with them a bit and sign autographs and just take pictures, that sort of thing with those kids. So we gave them because who knows when the next time they'll see an NHL player. So yeah, overall the series we're talking with Sil actually the obviously Nylander was the star of the show and he got a lot of cheers, but another player that did well we think is and is big here in Sweden is Lucas Raymond, who I know I didn't even know that he was Swedish, but he is, and yeah, from Gothenburg.
Very popular.
Yeah, he's very popular here too. So he had an excellent series, and also the goaltender on Ottawa. I guess I'm
Philip
freezing
Forsberg.
Philip Forsberg because I think it's Gustafson on Minnesota on the Wild that plays that was formerly Ottawa's goalie who also is Swedish that he played well as well. So yeah, but that's about it from the game's standpoint, anyways. And yeah, actually, one thing we do want to mention here, I guess, one of our followers on Twitter had a comment actually for us. I'm just gonna find it here, and once I find it, it's where is it? But so what else do you have for the like just Stockholm in general so far? We haven't had Swedish meatballs yet, but
No.
we're going to be, and but
Another, I guess, huge thing was the global fan tour, which was at a park called Kundisgarden,
yeah, something like
something like
that.
that. Anyway, that had interactive things all weekend, and yesterday was an autograph signing event with Matt Sundin and William Nylander, and that was actually flooded with people. Basically blocks and blocks and blocks lined up to get Nylander's autograph, and I'm assuming Matt Sundin is as well. Um, that actually was interesting to see Matt Sundin interact with the team as much as he did
Yeah.
here in Sweden. That's some things that since he, left and retired, we just really haven't seen much of him. And I have to say, it's kind of softened my stance and warmed my heart a little bit more. Thawed it, I guess, towards my feelings for him because it just was nice to see him here in his element. So he was very involved throughout the whole weekend and spent a lot of time with the team, which was really meaningful for the Swedish players and as well for Max Domi, who is quite close to him. So um, yeah, so that was actually pretty special, I think,
Yeah.
for basically our team and its history.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, the historical part of the connection with the NHL, the Leafs, obviously, is Boris Alming, and he's like a god here, basically. And yeah, they have the movie. I guess they had the debut here over the last week, and Willie attended with some of the other Leaf players and other Swedish players that from the other teams. They went to see it, and yeah, it's just and his Boris Alming's son came out to do the ceremonial face-off for that game versus Detroit, and yeah, so they definitely still love Boria, and they're honoring his legacy. They honored his legacy as just wonderfully, basically. But yeah, so those are that part of it, and then the other thing here, just there was one question that we had from Twitter from a follower, Ken27 Kilakonda. And he said, "Is it a huge advantage for someone like Willie to be playing at home?" So yeah, so I don't know. I personally, I think it's like yeah, it meant a lot to him to play here, and he definitely embraces that attention, and yeah, he just seems to thrive on it, and obviously now he has yeah, 17 game point streak now, right? The puck is just following him around, but I think he definitely he see throughout this whole season basically he's playing with he's just at another level basically, and he's embracing it all throughout. So I would have to say yes. What do you think?
I agree 100% on that. And, I think the key part to that question was someone like Willie. So definitely it, it, it totally fits his personality to a T to, want the spotlight and to thrive in it. So yeah, I think I think it did have a lot to do with it. I think the way we came back against Detroit, that might not have happened potentially on a regular November game in Toronto, where it doesn't mean quite as much, with his whole family, which is a quite large family, in attendance, um, and his grandmother, of course, which has been the narrative throughout. I think it meant a lot to him. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's all for the series itself. I mean, we're gonna, I guess, once we come back home and that, and for our next episode, we're gonna tweet out again if you have any questions or if you want to know something about our our trip to Stockholm and being on the road with the team, because we've done it quite often now. This is our first international trip, but yeah, you can drop us a comment. You can email us, ladiestalkingbeliefs@gmail.com, or just DM us. All of our social media is at LTL1917. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and wherever you're listening or watching us. And yeah, that's all. I think that's all we have for tonight.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
And
So thanks for
we'll
joining
catch
us.
you again soon.
Yeah.
Go,
Go Leafs,
Leafs, go.
go.